Hey guys, it's SJ. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share some predicted 2021 baby name trends, big shifts. These are kind of like future trends, not like just the names. These are like the big picture stuff and also the trends to kind of leave behind in 2020, along with most other things. I think we're ready for a reshift and there's been so many big changes. And if you're not into names, like names massively follow culture. They hugely follow big popular trends. There's so many trend reports out there at the moment about big shifts in parenting styles, in the way we're going to live our lives, and those are all going to impact on names. So I've had a little think, and these are my top trends for 2021 and the ones to ditch. If you're brand new, do hit subscribe to follow me for all things baby names inspiration for next year. If you're planning a baby or you just love names, then yeah, this is the place to be. I'm also out in a beautiful snowy Swedish forest, so I'm sat here so I hope that you can see and enjoy this view. Wow. So first trend to leave behind in 2020 that is going to just be really out of style, probably for the first time in decades, is naming a child for their job. So if you've ever named a baby, you might hear the biggest veto that comes up is they're not going to be taken seriously in the boardroom, or you're not going to find a President Jackson or whatever it is, or a boardroom Aurora and things like that. And it was always a very important part of naming a baby, what kind of job they're going to have, how it's going to look on their CV. Nowadays, that is such an old-fashioned point of view, particularly after 2020. We're all working from home now. There is the home office has taken over from the boardroom, and actually having a unique name that stands out is going to help you to succeed. Many people, also younger people, Generation Z, aren't aspiring to the kind of success that we did. So for them, being called Richard, or for standing out as a strong woman being called like Monica or something like that, isn't going to be as important to them. They're looking for like multi-hyphen job roles where they'll be sort of doing lots of different things, definitely something that incorporates their passion as well. So that whole thing, just leave it behind in 2020 if you're ever discussing what kind of name you're looking for. And actually the trend to take forward that we'll see, I think, in 2021 and beyond, it's been the huge boom of the hobbyist. We've all really taken up hobbies. We've been at home a lot more. Obviously, it's been kind of forced upon us, but we're really following our passions a lot more. And it's a massive thing for me. Like, I started this YouTube channel because I was really passionate about baby names. Such a geeky thing to be passionate about, but then you find other people who are into your thing, and it just brings you that little bit of something extra into your life. So we've seen people really crafting, getting back into woodwork, getting back into using their hands, getting back into writing. So some of the name trends I think that will come under this category, things like hobbyist craft names. They're often called occupational names, but they go back in time to when we used to use our hands to make stuff. So it could be weaver becomes a popular name, miller after making bread. It could be piper after getting more into music and musical names. So that type of name will have more appeal to the next generation of namers. Hopefully there's a baby boom next year. I really reckon there will be. It could be that they go for more artistic names, bringing back the classic artist names as we will get into a bit more being creative. So it could be that we see a few little baby Monets. That would be so cute, wouldn't it? Could even see a daring Mozart. I can see Mozart making a comeback. I think it's really cute, but I have no baby name filter, so don't judge a name on me sometimes. Or really fantastical names, like fantasy names, using our imagination. From fantasy books and novels, we've all really wanted escapism, so things like Avalon and stuff like that. Even sort of mystical names, more like Selene, meaning moon, and stuff like that. So I think we'll see a lot more, less serious names, but a lot more imaginative, creative names that really go by our passions and our beliefs rather than what we expect our children to succeed as. The next thing that is out, which has kind of been going out, I feel, for the last 2 or 3 years, is gender reveals. Gender reveal parties where we kind of, cut it open and it's blue or it's pink, or there's a confetti. Younger parents are not into these gender assignments, and we don't have to go as far as to raising your children totally non-binary, but there is a pushback against kind of really defining your child from before they're even born with this kind of pink or blue. So as we see gender reveal parties fade out of popularity, also it's the most requests I get are for a gender neutral name, and lots of adults changing their names as well to become a non-binary name. I get those requests. So if you think about it, classic names. Like back in the 1920s, you'd have such classic names for girls and boys. You know, a girl would be Rose, a boy would be Jack. And nowadays parents would probably be looking for more like Rhodes and Beck. So you're going to be hearing a lot more non-binary, a lot more gender neutral names. I've got a whole list, 2 or 3 I think, lists here on my channel for inspiration on those trends, but it's absolutely massive. And especially here in Sweden, my husband's Swedish, they have whole non-binary nurseries where when you enroll your child, they don't ask if it's what gender your child is, and they make a huge effort to not be led by gender, not be gender specific with toys and things like that, or clothing. You know, it's massively I think Sweden are massively ahead of the rest of the world in this. The next thing that I see is going out of style is smart names. So smart technology is booming. People are even predicting that there'll be more robot helpers over the next 5 years developed because of the threat of pandemic and everyone socially distancing. So names with strong X, strong Ys and strong Zs, I can see going out of style as we try to become more human with our names. So things like Alexa, things like Ezra, these things get adopted and taken on by tech companies with the X, the Y and the Z. And you see that shift already in baby names where people are going for much more spiritual names. I am going to do a list called Beyond Bodhi because we seem to have got stuck on Bodhi as our kind of spiritual name. But there are trends emerging, particularly things like, obviously Hebrew names have been around for a long time, but we're seeing trends, things like Baby Psalm may have promoted this, but names for books of the Bible, so Genesis coming up as a popular name, or more spiritual names like Enya and things like that, that really connect us to what makes humanity special. And we've seen how much we are special, how we can come together, how we need to pull together. And I feel like there's a big shift, especially among Generation Z who are coming up to being namers soon. And I think we'll see a bit more of that. Next trend I think to leave behind in 2020 is a hard one because I think this is quite a future trend, is the IE nicknames as first names. I'm a big fan of it, particularly vintage nicknames as first names. There's been a real trend rising over the last 3-4 years and really peaked in 2019. But when we're looking at future trends, what we're seeing is a big pushback against generation stereotypes. So in 2020, you know, we saw grandparents using smart technology. We saw like, you know, people in their 90s really leading society and going back to those core values that we had during the wars, you know, 90-year-olds becoming #1 and showing the spirit that we have. And I feel like those generational stereotypes now are something that, again, with the gender stereotypes, is becoming unfashionable. So having a grandma, say, called Harriet, and then having a granddaughter called Hattie, it sort of ages you, it puts you into that little bracket, and we're really shrugging that off. And the last video I did was really talking to teenagers about their favourite, most popular names. It's a really good one, and none of them were using the nicknames. All the Maddies, the Evies, all of those names, the Hatties, they all want proper, long, serious names that are also generationally unstereotypical, so not trying to put you as young and little. But what it's been replaced with is really strong consonant name. The names that have been really popular for the last while have had lots of vowels in, like Evie probably, or Ava, you know, all these names, even Isla, very, very strong on the vowels, but we're seeing the strong consonants. I can never say that, consonants. We're seeing the strong letter names coming way back into fashion, so things with Ds, things with strong Ks, like Dakotas, the Delilahs, names like that coming in that are much more consonant heavy, and you'll see that in a lot of trend reports for baby names. So really do have a think about it, and I will do another list of those names coming up soon. So those are my top predictions for trends for 2021, trends to leave behind in 2020. Just a bit of fun. I'd love any more thoughts from you guys on future trends and how they would affect baby names in the comment section below. I think Netflix names are going to stay around for the next 6 months, let's be honest, but I will be here every single week with new name inspiration and name lists, and loads of fun. Do hit subscribe, and over in the community tab you can all join in as well. Lots of love, guys. Bye bye.